Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BLE podcast. My name is Gavin, and I'm the podcast lead for the years 2026 as it is now. So we are joined by our National Junior Honor Society, and we're going to be asking them some select questions so we can learn really what National Junior Honor Society is about. So I'm going to kick us off with our first question. How did you come to learn about this opportunity, and why did you want to be a part of the National Junior Honor Society?
I was very interested in NJHS from the moment I heard about it because it just seemed like an opportunity for me to be able to contribute positively to my community and to Elite. I was interested in taking up volunteer work, but between everything, I would always forget. I would have so and so and so and so and so and so to do, and instead of being able to, and instead of taking that chance and stepping into and stepping into doing more volunteer work, I would just keep kind of pushing it to the side a little. But when I heard about NJHS, I thought it was be an amazing opportunity for me to be able to join with people who also wanted to get involved in their communities, and for me to, get up there and do a little bit of actual work. And from the minute I joined NJHS, I felt like I knew that it would be an amazing community for me, where I could really learn, a lot from both, obviously, the class topics and all, but also from my fellow students.
Definitely, I appreciate you keeping alert of everything that's going on in Elite, and then wanting to join this is that's a pretty big opportunity to me, because when I see it, and I actually interviewed with Miss Ramirez once at some point, I think, about NJHS, and I didn't follow through with it, and I kind of regret that. So we're gonna go for it probably again. And yeah, definitely, it's a big opportunity, and I'm glad you guys are a part of it. So
We'd love to have you in NJHS, Gavin, and anyone else who's seeing this podcast and wants to join. It's an amazing way to get involved in your community and have a great time while doing it.
Absolutely, and from what you said, it sounds awesome. So I'm very excited to possibly take that opportunity. Okay, so why don't we move it off to one of our other NJHS members that wants to just talk about why you guys wanted to be a part of the National Junior Honor Society. I'm so sorry.
Uh, the reason I wanted to join NJHS was because I learned about it through Club Rush, and I talked to my parents because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what we would be doing, and I learned that I would be helping people and communities. So I said, I'll give it a try, and we'll see how it goes, kind of like a test run. And after that first meeting, I knew that I wanted to just help people in my community and be a part of this great organization. And since then, through volunteering at my local comic shop, I have helped spread literacy through my community, and it's overall just been a great experience.
That sounds awesome. Honestly, in my opinion, Isaiah, I see helping your community is something so important for any community member, and just coming together and teaching other kids or teaching other littler people that look up to you. Um, I just feel that's very, very special. So, Alia, why don't we move on for the second question?
Must you have to become part of the National Junior Honor Society? And what is the purpose of NJHS?
Well, the purpose at NJHS at Elite is we're trying to help students get engaged with their community and overall just kind of help them figure out what they want to do and how they want to help others. What qualities you need at NJHS is you need to have at least a 3.0 GPA. We want to make sure that you won't fall too behind. We want to make sure that you're committed. The other thing is We need you to show qualities that show you can help others, such as compassion. We want to see that you're willing to get your hands in the mud and just help others.
I really appreciate that. And another NJHS member, why don't you jump in here and add a little bit to that?
I think the things that Isaiah just said are really great. I think we obviously have all sorts of things with elite. One of our most important aspects of being an elite eagle is the 6 C's, and I think that's something that we all really have to strive to exemplify with our NJHS, with us being at NJHS. It feels to us like we are kind of representing elite in the world with our volunteer work, and the 6 C's are a great way of showing us a few ways that we can be better community members, which is also a C.
Yeah, I totally want to add on to what Leo said. I feel like NJHS is more than just a club. We're like representing a different part of the school. We're like representing a different part of the school that I feel like a lot of people don't get to see. And that's the part that we're like, in NJHS, we're so compassionate. Like, not only do we help other people in our communities, but I feel like we help each other within our meetings. And that's just a part that I want other people to be able to be a part of and for other people to get to see. And that's why I'm really glad we get to do this podcast today.
Well, we are glad to have you guys on because it is definitely it's definitely a reward to have the entire school and people interested in the podcast as well. And it's awesome that you guys came out here and decided to get on the podcast with us. So I really appreciate that. Jesse, why don't you go ahead for our third question?
Got it, Kevin. What type of volunteer work are you involved with?
So if you guys don't mind me taking this one, I'm involved at an organization called Frosted Faces. They're a humane shelter that takes in dogs and cats. Actually, they used to only take in dogs, but since I joined NJHS and started volunteering at Frosted Faces, they started taking in cats as well. And they won't put dogs to sleep if they don't get adopted immediately. Um, and most of my work at Frosted Faces has been feeding, grooming, and to my chagrin, cleaning, unfortunately, and taking them on. But I also get to take them on hikes occasionally. And recently, I have been lucky enough to take a few dogs out on what they call frosted flings, which is where they take a dog, where I would take a dog on a day of excitement and adventure. And I get to show them off to people who might potentially be looking to adopt a dog. And all the dogs at Frosted Faces are pretty elderly. Most of them are at least 10 plus years, and most of them are 13 years old or higher, which is like in dog years, we're getting to the hundreds and up there. So it's really great because most people, they don't want to adopt a dog so old, and often they get forgotten. So I feel like the work that they're doing at Frosted Faces to get them homes is amazing. Um, in this year alone, I've been able to see over 100 dogs adopted. That is just amazing, isn't it? I've also done work at a few animal sanctuaries who would rescue farm animals from the cruelty of the meat and dairy industry. It's very important to me that all animals matter, no matter if they're a cow or a dog, and they deserve safety, life, and love. And I feel like with my work at Frosted Faces and various animal sanctuaries, I'm able to not just give back to my community, like we've been saying this whole time, but also make the individual animal's life better. So, yeah, that's the kind of volunteer work I've been doing.
See,
Okay.
and that it makes a huge impact on those animals' lives because you're trying to help them. And you're helping them very successfully. So I really appreciate that. Jesse, we have one more question.
My question is, how do you stay focused? Like, do you enjoy this enough to stay focused on it?
I can answer that. It really just depends on the student, but what we try and do at NJHS is we try and have students stay focused and engaged with their work by tracking their hours. And the other thing that we do is, for example, with the comic shop I work at, what I will sometimes do is I'll make sure to volunteer during specific large events, such as this event called Free Comic Book Day. For those who don't know what that is, it's a day where you can come in, buy some free comics, help spread literacy through the community, and really by just helping students stay focused by using that tracking, it can really help them stay motivated and try and reach their goal of volunteering for at least 10 hours.
Okay.
If I could just weigh in on that one, I just want to say I love my work. It's not that it's maybe fun for most people. The cleaning part, as I mentioned earlier, is not my favorite, but it's just the fact that you know that you're doing something that's good for the community, that's good for the people who you're impacting, for me, the animals. And I feel like that is reward enough for me, just knowing that other people are being impacted positively because of my work. Yeah, so that's kind of what keeps me going, what pushes me forward in my work.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And really quickly, everyone, Mr. Ramirez, do you want to jump in really quickly?
Oh, sure. I think Presley, we haven't heard from her and she was about to share, so I can share after Presley. That's fine. Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. I just wanted to say I volunteer at my community's local baton twirling class, and what really helps me stay focused is just helping little kids. I work with kids 4 to 8 years old, and I teach them, lead them through stretches, teach them baton tricks, and help them learn routines. So what really helps me stay focused is just watching them master a trick or finally see the light bulb click in their head of how to do it and perform it correctly. That's what helps me stay motivated, is just watching others succeed and just watching them grow and in resilience and just learn to never give up. I guess baton is not an easy sport, at least I have come to found. So it's really inspiring to watch just little children, how happy they get when they do a trick right, or just when they are able to share the excitement that they have with others. That's really helps me stay focused and motivated.
I can definitely see that. That's very, honestly, that's very cool to me. How you see the change with a child's development when they're learning how to do a certain thing, and I'm a child myself, so I'm still developing. But anyway, moving on. Moving on.
I believe it's
Mr. Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Yes, Mr. Ramirez, do you want to jump in really quickly, and then we'll head off with our last question.
Sure. I just wanted to share to Jesse's question. He asked how students are staying motivated. And I think for me as a club advisor, I've seen them stay motivated by connecting with each other. So everyone, as you've heard, has very different volunteer work, but it feels very similar underneath, because the common thread is that their time and effort matters. They are giving back to their communities. And so that's the shared purpose and what really makes NJHS special and motivating for our students.
Really quickly, after Xavier, we have one more question that we wanted to add really quickly. But Xavier, go ahead.
Yeah, sure thing. So, what have you? Also, I'm sorry, I have congestion right now, so I sound so off. But next question: what have you taken away from the experience so far, and how do you think you've grown as a person?
Well, volunteering at my local comic shop, I've taken away that A, of course, literacy is important, but B, that it's hard for people to get into reading. It's hard for them to read these great works of literature. So what I find is helpful is don't even worry about getting them into it as a young age. If you can help someone find something they're into, like a certain comic or a certain story, it can make the difference, and they will just start reading just like a wildfire.
I definitely appreciate that, Isaiah. And Sophia wanted to go, and then Leo, you go right ahead.
Something I've taken away from NJHS is to like keep trying, and like it's a really broad message, but like definitely just like do work not just for others but for yourself. So something that I've learned through volunteering that has helped me grow is like being able to just like completely immerse yourself in your work, like no matter what you're doing. So I volunteered by like picking up trash in my neighborhood, or I volunteered by like working at the public library. And it's helped me grow as a person because I used to place like a monetary value on happiness. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like, oh my gosh, to be happy and to love your job, you have to be getting paid like thousands of dollars a week. But like, whenever I tell people I volunteer somewhere and I'm like, oh, I love my job, they're like, wow, how much do you get paid? I'm like, I get paid in hugs, I get paid in high fives from little kids. And it's just learning to deal with the situation you're given. So, like, I walk elderly dogs, and sometimes I have to deal with them fighting with other dogs, or sometimes I work with kids and I have to work with sometimes telling them, hey, maybe don't kick someone, like, hey, maybe don't throw that crayon at the other worker. And it's just kind of taught me to like adapt to my environment, like no matter where I am. Because so I feel like it's just taught me to like adapt to my environment, and I've definitely matured since I've been in NJHS in the best way possible.
But I think for me, I think I've learned a lot just seeing all of these people coming around for something that they don't necessarily have to do in NJHS, and coming around just because they want to do some volunteer work and just because they want to benefit others. I think that's just really amazing that we can have a group of people who are all here just because they want to help others and for no ulterior reasons. And I just love that. That's really my key takeaway from NJHS.
I think that's awesome, and I think it's definitely I think it definitely helps you learn volunteering places, how different people act, how different animals act, and how you can bond and make relationships with both animals and people. Or it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be helping out at your local library, helping out your local comic store. It definitely I feel like that would resonate with a lot of people that do volunteer. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay, so we have one last question, and that is from Kelly and Amy.
I was wondering if you get burnout and how do you deal with it?
So what I was saying is, Frosted Faces is like, an hour from my house. It's not a fun time in that drive, and let me tell you, dog breath is not very pleasant smelling, and neither is their poop. And sometimes it gets kind of hard, going there day after day after day to come back just to help these dogs out. For me, I think the best thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to do this every day. You don't have to do it all the time.
I definitely think that can, I definitely think that builds you as a person, like builds your experience, builds your brain, and makes you think a little differently. And definitely I think that's a really good way because you think about, wow, I'm doing this, but the reward that like reaps at the end where you're helping these animals, and I just feel like that's just the gold in the bucket, the leprechaun gives. Anyway, Isaiah, go ahead.
The burnout and challenges I've faced with volunteering at a comic shop is you will sometimes have customers who will basically, because we have this wall of comic books, they will pull the comic off the wall, and usually you're supposed to bring it up to the cash register, be like, here, I want this comic, and then you pay, right? We will sometimes have people who will grab it off the wall, and before they pay, they will kind of thumb through the book and just start reading it in the shop, and then they'll put it back and be like, Okay, see ya. So the thing that helps me kind of stay cool in those situations is remembering that these people may not have the finances to get that book. So they'll just do a quick thumb through and try and read it so that they can still enjoy it. And the other thing is, sometimes when it's little kids, you just got to remember they're learning and it's okay. And plus, maybe by thumbing through that book, they're now into reading comics.
And now maybe they'll probably save up for them. Or maybe they'll be really, really interested. Maybe get one online. Maybe get an ebook. Something like that. And I really appreciate that. So we're going to go with one more student. And then, Ms. Ramirez, we're going to ask you any questions. Or if you have anything you want to respond with from the questions that we said already today. And yeah, then we're going to wrap up.
So I wanted to answer the burnout question. Yes, I get burnt out sometimes, and it is really difficult to deal with because I had a really rough week like 2 weeks ago. So basically, I was dog walking because I volunteer dog walking elderly dogs. So I was walking like a dog pretty much like every other day, or like multiple dogs. And then it was my week of the show for ballet. So I was at my ballet studio for like 24 hours total that week. 6 days a week, I was there 4 hours every day. And plus, I had a final math project due and a Spanish checkpoint quiz. And on top of everything else, I still had homework and live sessions. So I was getting really overwhelmed. And I'm one of those people that just like can't say no. So someone's like, hey, can you? I'm like, I'll be there. I will do everything you need me to, plus more. And one thing I've learned about burnout is like you just have to like push through it. And one thing that always helps me is knowing that like you have to set like goals for yourself. So you have to be like, okay, well, think about the fact that at this time next week, not only will I not be walking these dogs, I won't be having ballet for 20 something hours next week. And I won't have my math project.
So, Mr. Ramirez, do you have anything to say? And then I'll ask one of our, or any of our podcast students if they have any closing remarks, and then we are ending this off.
Sure. Yeah. I also wanted to answer the burnout question because I think it's a really great question, and burnout is so real. So two things. I think it's really important to communicate. Burnout happens when you wait too long to speak up, when you're struggling and you feel like you're drowning. So I always remind my NJHS students that I am very flexible and here to support, and make sure that everything feels manageable to them. And then another thing is, I really encourage everyone to see NJHS as a motivator and not something that they have to do perfectly. They're not being graded for it. So two very important reminders: communicate, and you do not need to be perfect. And then I just wanted to mention that I will be sending invitations for NJHS in February that have a 3.0 GPA and above, and I would encourage all of those students to apply. I would love to have them.
We definitely love a good plug on this channel here. Absolutely. All elite students, definitely think about it. But other than that, thank you guys for watching the Be Elite podcast. Really quickly, any of our podcast students, do you have any last things you want to say?
I always feel burnout sometimes too. I do volunteer work on the side as well, and my little sister does too. Yeah. So we understand that the volunteering is hard sometimes, but being able to help people, feed people, be there because there's the only, like, to be there because there's no one else. Like, everyone who lives has like the capacity to help. So
Definitely. Oh my god, jeez, I'm out of it right now. All right, so thank you all for your inputs. I really appreciate it. Alia and Xavier, you guys have something to say, and then yeah.
I just wanted to thank the National Junior Honor Society for all the volunteer work that they do. If there weren't people like you willing to step up and do the work, we wouldn't have the type of community that we do, and people who need help may not get it. So I really want to thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely a huge thank you to the National Junior Honor Society. Xavier, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try to make this quick. Also, start the AI overlay. No, I'm joking. I think I'm starting a little better. But honestly, what you guys are doing is like really inspiring, stepping up to the plate and volunteering for and helping those around you. It's honestly really inspiring, especially because actually I was able to get the opportunity to last summer. I was able to coach my little brother's basketball team, and it was a little hard just because at first, like, it was hard to get there. Sometimes it was hard for us to make the time, like, at the effort. But and what I've also learned is that, and I mean, I didn't experience it too much because I'm a basketball fan. So, but burnout, the most important thing to think about is you gotta have limits, right? You gotta learn to say no because sometimes you get burned out so much that you can't do anything, right? And let's just say you want to do something. Oh, I want to help this person out, but you can't because you spent all these hours over here helping other people out, which isn't bad, but you always got to make sure you have enough energy for yourself and always make sure that you have your limits and boundaries. So that's it. And please actually overlay my voice because I sound congested.
I just
Thank
want
you,
to say,
Xavier.
Xavier, your voice sounds fine. In fact, very
It does
nice,
not, dude.
very deep and very nice. Melodious, some would say.
Why do you
Well,
say your
you
voice
know,
is not fine?
Well,
Why
you
is
know, I really appreciate everybody for coming on here, Xavier. You know, it's a shame that you can't change your voice like
I can.
But otherwise, everyone have a great day. Thank you for watching the B League podcast. Comment, like, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow all of our socials, and yeah, we have a lot of them, so I can't name them all. But yeah, this is Gavin from the B Elite podcast. See you, everybody. And
invitations for the National Honor Society and the National Junior Honor Society will be going out in February. To be eligible, students must have a minimum GPA of 3.0, exemplify scholarship, leadership, character service, and citizenship.